Okay, I believe we're recording now. I'm running this video because we're at the point of our home modification where we're kind of getting settled in on what'll probably be here for the next several years. When we bought the house, we knew that there had to be a lot of modifications done to it. I'm going to kind of review some of that on the video here. And oh, by the way, I'm using Michael's new Apple tablet, so it should be pretty good. This kidney area here was just a wreck. It had a half-dead tree sticking out of it, had wild rose bushes in it. Just everything had gone crazy, so we had all of that pulled out. It had a sumac tree in it, and we decided to put a little baby sumac tree in it, and hopefully someday that they'll come to match each other. But all this shrubbery here was just cut back immensely here. You see a gold bush tree that was just wild and crazy. Over there past the kidney area was a purple plum tree that we don't think was ever trimmed, and we're going to say probably in 15 to 20 years. Plus we took the irises from another part of the yard and transplanted them there and pulled out the junk that was there. As you can also tell, there's some new stones and boulders that we put in. So all this has just become to where we think we want it now. So I'm going to kind of walk through there. Oh, if you remember from the earlier video, and I'll get past the shrub here, back in the corner of the house was a holly tree. Oh, it was as tall as the peak of the roof and just was out of sight. It had to go away. We had Mark Johnson cut it down, as well as the other tree in the northwest corner. What's going to go in that corner is, and I'll point it out later on, is the magnolia tree that's in the other part of the yard. But the landscaper thought, let's wait till winter to do that, so we will. But we put in again a lot of rock and new mulch. With the boulders being added, we think this is kind of the look that we wanted 6 months ago. It's, I guess you could say, coming to fruition as to what we expected. We put a kind of a border around the cherry tree here at the base. My landscaper said that's a good idea because people hit it with the lawnmower, hit it with the weed eater, and it cuts into it and they'll die off. So that's what we did. I'm going to come over here to the front of the house and give you the look of what it kind of turned out to be. As you can see here now, again, we have boulders here by the mailbox. We've got boulders over here by the Japanese maple. And that just really added some, oh, I don't know, character to the house. And all new plants went in, all that ivy. There was miles and miles of ivy that had to be tore out. And we got catmint in here now, liriope. There's heavenly bamboo. I think, oh, what are those green ones called? Oh, well, whatever they're called. It's part of the evergreen family. And we moved the statue over here to the corner. The corner is where that 40-foot river birch was. That was just horrible. And Mark Johnson cut it down and made it livable. And so we're just really enjoying that look there. The linden tree here, we put new edging around it as well as mulch. Mark also went up into the tree and cut a lot of the limbs so that it's really something that we could appreciate now. Before, the limbs were so bad that when it rained, the weight of the rain would come down and you literally couldn't hardly walk on the sidewalk here from all the moisture. Same as well as the Japanese maple. It's now at a good size because we had the landscapers trim on it. and it also had so much weight and stuck out here so far you couldn't get past it. So now you can. I need to mention, Celeste just the other day decided to paint all of the shutters. The shutters had been on here, we don't know how many years, but a long time. They had faded and they were just horrible. It's kind of interesting to note that we saw the door, the front door, I don't know, it's have to say Celeste, recognized that the door was in the green family. And I kind of said, you sure? Anyway, so we determined it's green. And I try to go online and find out what color of green that could be. And I was having trouble. And I decided, well, I'm going to go out in the garage and look around at some cans that are out there. Maybe there might be a clue. And I saw one that said front door. And it was called Essex Green. Bought Benmore paint called Essex Green. So there was enough left in that quart that Celeste painted all of the shutters, and they just look beautiful. And I'm going to pan up here. There's at the top there's kind of I don't know, decorative piece of material, and Celeste went up there also. I threw the ladder up there, and she went and painted all of it too. So we're thinking that really looks pretty good. We're going to go inside now. Here again, as usual, we're at the split of the house. This will go back into the area that we had to remodel. Obviously, the stairwell here goes upstairs, and one of these days I'll learn how to shut this off and take you into Celeste's bonus room, as she calls it now, the memory room. But I'm going to pan over here to the living room just to show you what Celeste's done. This room, I think we might have mentioned this in the other video, we didn't have any furniture for here, so we go over to Alice Brothers and buy couch, and it comes from Tennessee, as well as these chairs, and they come from Indiana. Best Chair Company up in, I think, Tell City. The table come from Celeste's favorite store, which is Seek and Find. I had the lamp. Then Celeste also went to Seek and Find and bought this dining room table. What we had done in days and weeks and months gone by is looked at dining room tables there, and then we were gambling and letting the price go down, and sure enough, every dining room set that we liked, it got bought. So we decided on this one, and luckily Celeste, this is the best of the set. So we bought this at the high retail price, but Celeste's very happy with it. I am too. And so she's just a happy camper. And then recently at Seek and Find, she found this console table. And so she is just completing the living room here. It looks pretty darn good. And so we'll just say, Celeste's a happy camper. As we go back here, we've been through this before, but I'll make this just real quick. This is where a lot of the modifications, as far as this bathroom, as we've noted before, is just what the whole back of the house was like, and it's just too wild. But we said, well, we could live with it in the bathroom, which we do for now. The office and all that was is now modern desk, and this just looks pretty hunky-dory. I spend a lot of time back here, obviously, and Celeste's lamp, I guess I could turn it on. Celeste's lamp that came from Seek and Find, and just looks all really nice in here. So our office is coming around really nice. We'll go back into the family room here, where we can say this is a room that we knew we had to work on a lot. The people before us had carpeting in here. It was literally worn out and horrible looking. So we said, let's get rid of that carpeting, and we decided to go with true wood floor. We got Somerset flooring that come from Somerset, Kentucky. Amazing. And that looked pretty good. The only thing I really had to do in here a lot was patch. The people before us had all kind of knickknacks hanging around on shelves. So since that went away, the holes were there, and we got
So when do you
patching
work
there. And over here there was a shelf. And then this door here
Monday?
is a replacement because there was the original, we believe, sliding glass door, and it was extremely inefficient. You could hear lots of noise coming in inside. The cold air was coming in because it was wintertime at that time. When I pulled up the carpeting, I saw that there was water damage on the subfloor. So Slett and I said, let's get rid of it. So here's the new door.
Well, I get a lot of time.
We go in here. We'll see probably Celeste baking.
Oh my god.
Are you baking?
Yeah.
So Celette's baking here as
I'm
usual.
preparing one omelette for Michael. Because
Ah,
he told
Michael
me,
gets
"Oh, I
omelette."
love omelette.
Yes.
Michael gets an omelette too then. So let's see. Michael, what do you want on your omelette?
Ham and both cheeses.
Both cheeses. And ham is it then, eh?
Yeah.
That's it. And
No
then we're
vegetables.
gonna add the salsa that you made me try last time, which
Ah.
was excellent, and I forgot about that.
Ron's famous salsa here.
Yes.
Sauce is
So,
Excellent take.
yes. Let's see, as we go to the back here, I have to mention again that our previous owners let I always say an armadillo in here, but we think it was a dog who destroyed the wallpaper back here. But Denise Porter came in and saved the day by painting the bottom of the wall there. So that worked out. Back here's just another bathroom, but it's also a washer and dryer or laundry room. So that all, we hardly ever use it for a bathroom, to be quite honest. We're gonna go outside.
Need help with the door?
It's okay now. Michael's asking if I need help with the door. Yeah, I could have, but we're okay out here. So what's happened now that it's summertime, obviously, is that we're able to come outside. We bought a patio set, and we come out here sometimes in the morning or evening, tea and wine, and we were also destroying and putting back together a lot of the yard here. We again, it was because of the ivy and bushes. The holly bushes were all between, I think these are wisteria bushes over here, and they were just monsters. You couldn't see anything other than, hey, holly bushes. So we had them tore out. I had the guys who delivered the boulders, which was Craft Nursery, throw a boulder back here. We had the landscapers put in river rock, and so that's all just coming in nicely. And one of these days, you can see back here, we've got a very small shed, and whether it was used for a playhouse, we don't know. But it's just too small for hardly almost anything. We'll replace it. Back in the back there is hosta. The fact is, we took some of the hostas out and put them in the front yard, and the hostas have a tendency to expand, so that really didn't hurt anything. One of these days, I'll attack this pond here, hopefully this next year. The pond we haven't done anything with. It's got a nice lime green scum on it, but that's okay. We'll get it working next year, and it'll look really nice too. Over here was also a monster of plants, including a rose of Sharon that blocked the viewing out of our window, and we also thought there was probably security threat there, meaning if somebody wanted to come in and look in and check and see if we're home, we couldn't look out because of that rose of Sharon. So we just had it axed out, I guess you could say it, and then had the landscapers come in here, and here we go again, take some of the hostas and spread them out and put them in here, and that looks all pretty good now, I think. An unusual tree that is, whether it's a tree or a bush, I'm not sure, but it looks like a tree, is called a walking stick, and it's been trimmed up a little bit. It was gangly and unsightly, and but they got it trimmed up real